Welcome to Popternative, where we dive into topical discussions from the worlds of pop culture, social media, and sports. Here is your host, Peter Remoliotis, aka PD Beats.
PD Beats here from Popternative, speaking to Indy and Katrine about season 2 of Industry premiering on HBO August 1st. Thank you both for your time.
Thank you.
Very excited to be here.
This is really exciting. Now, Indy, it's interesting. You had a little bit of a taste in season 1. Now you're back full force for season 2. Does the mindset change a little bit for a lot for you, or is it kind of just going back to work?
It definitely has changed a lot because in series 1, I actually only came in for, I think it was a day of filming, and also she wasn't even a grad. So the whole experience of being in the office and working on FX was something that had changed, and they really fleshed out the character so much, Mickey and Konrad. So I had a lot to work with and a lot to kind of get my teeth into. So it was very exciting.
Now, Katrine, I have to say, welcome to Industry on HBO.
Yeah, I know. Super exciting, PT.
It's pretty crazy. So I'm just curious about that. Does the excitement overtake the overwhelming component of that, joining a show that did very well for season 1 and everything? What's the mindset specifically joining Industry?
It is massively exciting. It's like a dancing in the kitchen when you hear that you will be part of it kind of excitement. Definitely. Also daunting, joining a new cast that already had one season, coming in as a completely new character in a new area of the bank that hadn't really been explored at all, but which is a great chance to make it, you don't sort of have to really get advice from everyone else. You can sort of just take it away and make it your thing.
Absolutely. Indy, when you're working on this show, does it sometimes sink in that it's almost like you're working on 2 different shows? Because in one regards, it's about the world of investment banking. You look at the other side of it, it's not really about investment banking. It's about people and life. Do you ever think about that at all?
I think definitely those 2 sides of things come into play a lot. And I think a lot of the time, because finance and finance lingo is such an alien kind of concept to me, and I think to a lot of the cast, having that more human side of things is really nice to fall back on, so that what you're saying and the scenes that you're playing really has that force behind it. I think as an actor, it's very nice to kind of get those 2 worlds together.
Absolutely. Katrine, but focusing on the investment banking perspective of things, one of my favorite things about TV shows is diving into a lot of the worlds that we're not maybe familiar with, you know what I mean? So this is kind of an opportunity for a lot of people to kind of dive head into the world of investment banking. Does that come to mind, Katrine, as well, when thinking about that? We might not know a lot about this.
100%, because it is a world that I don't know anything about privately. I mean, all my friends and family said, "Oh God, you never play a banker." I mean, forget about that. Couldn't find a worse person. So it's very interesting to just be somebody that nobody thinks of you as, and sort of finding out about that world and how do these people go on about their daily lives, as well as what private lives do they have. I mean, they're not just business people, they're also people, which I think the show is very good at. Mm-hmm. Having both the work environment, but with real people in it.
That's so great that you said that too, about the real people in it. Because Indy, one of my favorite things about this is the complexity of the characters and everything. Do you instantly see the complexity when you're reading the scripts for these, or does it take kind of a while you're filming it to realize how complex some of these characters are, Indy?
Sure. It's interesting because as they go along, they haven't written all of the episodes yet.
Yes.
So you get I think it's the first 2, and you have that base to work on, and you build up that foundation as much as you can. And then it's very interesting to kind of get these extra layers to put on and these different things to think about, so that by the end there's so much more kind of going on in your head that it almost makes the process a bit easier, because you know this character so well. And I think also being able to kind of play opposite other people, as opposed to just reading in your head, and getting the reactions and getting the dynamics between them, also really kind of build up that complexity. So it's definitely something that you have to kind of get your head around over a period of time as you get these more tidbits kind of.
You were definitely sweating a little bit watching season one, just some of the characters. I don't want to go into big spoilers, but there were just a lot of things that kind of happened that were just kind of like, oh, like, how's this going to play out for the next season? You know what I mean? So I agree with you about the scripts, because like sometimes it's like instantly you're like, all right, this character is complex. There's a lot going on, but sometimes it kind of, it sneaks up on you sometimes, right? Like you don't basically know about it. But Katrine, kind of to add to that a little bit too, where you were talking about investment and everything. I mean, you're a storyteller. That's essentially what you do. Is it safe to say your favorite thing about storytelling is transforming and diving into all of these different worlds? Is that the best part about it?
It's definitely a fantastic part about it, Pete. It's that and exploring the inner life of another person. If you have the two of them together, that's kind of like the best of both worlds. You know, you get to explore a completely different woman with all her problems and issues and her home life, as well as being somebody completely different. I mean, it's that thing that you had when you were young, you know, I wanted to be a vet, I wanted to be a pilot, I wanted to be a doctor, and now I get to be a little bit of all of them, which is like, yeah, please bring it on, you know.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's so true. It's so crazy. It's crazy to think that season one of this show came out November 2020 on HBO. It's been 3 years, but doesn't it feel like a long time ago?
Yes, it does.
It does, but at the same time, it doesn't. It also feels like it was like last week that we wrapped. It's very strange.
Yeah.
Obviously today, Indy, it's starting to hit you that it's coming out because like you're doing press, you're talking to all these outlets, but would you say like last month or so, like you were kind of starting to get used to, like it was sinking in that season 2 is finally premiering on HBO?
I think yeah, definitely knowing that I was going to be doing press, and then also we got the screeners, so we got to kind of see a few episodes ahead of time. It's definitely sunk in that this show is obviously very amazing and lots of people are going to watch it. So it's very exciting.
Well, Katrine, I kind of asked you in the beginning of the interview the mindset of, you know, joining season 2 of a very successful season 1. But what I want to ask, like when you wrap, what's that kind of mindset? Like it's like official, right? You're done. You joined industry. What's that mindset like when you wrap?
Yeah, it's fantastic. You know, you joined it and you actually just don't want to stop, quite frankly. When it was over, I was sobbing in my little trailer and I had Nick on the other side like, oh, don't cry, it'll be fine, it'll be fine. So it was really a ride, you know. I'm gonna miss her and I can't wait for everyone to meet her.
Absolutely. We don't want to go into big spoilers or anything. Indy, I just want to know, like, we got a little bit of we meet your character briefly, like you said, in season 1. What can we expect in season 2 about your character without any big spoilers?
I would just say Venetia is someone that definitely comes in to shake things up a bit. She is, you know, she's a newer generation. She's young. She's got very strong ideals. She knows what she wants. She knows kind of how to get it, and she's not going to be messed around.
Absolutely. Katrine, you know, we're just going to be introducing your character right away on August 1st. What can you tell us about your character specifically?
Well, I think it explores a completely new side of the bank, and it's also, it has a different speed from the rest of the show because everything is bang, bang, bang on the trading floor. Celeste's sort of like area is much slower. She makes her own time. She goes at her own speed. So it was a definite note from the directors on the show that these scenes just go down on speed. You know, it's a completely different area of banking, and then a new world for Yasmin, where she goes like, "Oh, this looks kind of nice," you know.
No, absolutely. Indy, what do you think about the pace of industry in terms of from like a viewer perspective? I mean, you know, you watch it like after you shoot it, you watch clips and everything. It's kind of has moments where it's slow burn and everything, but then it has kind of moments where it's super quick and super fast, like the world of kind of investment banking. What do you think about the pace of the show specifically?
Yeah, it's definitely something you can see on the script itself when you read it, is how slick everything is, because everything is written so intelligently that every line is a beat that you have to hit, and the pace, as you say, is very fast, and that just kind of reflects the trading for itself. and that decisions have to be made very, very quickly. You have to just get your point across. You can't really, be polite about things. It's very direct, like the character and like the job that she has. And you can really see that in the script. And I think it's something that's quite intense to watch and quite thrilling to watch.
100%. Katrine, before we wrap up, premiering August 1st on HBO, season 2 of Industry, and then every week a new episode comes out and everything. What are you hoping they'll get out of it, the audience, takeaway wise, when they watch season 2 of Industry?
Oh my God, I hope that they really enjoy it. I hope that they enjoy it watching it as much as they enjoyed doing it. I hope that it's going to be even better than season 1. And I hope that it's going to collect even more fans than it already does, and introduce people to that world that people mainly only hear about.
Absolutely. Well, season 2 of Industry is going to be premiering August 1st on HBO. Indy, Katrine, thank you both so much for your time. It was so great chatting with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to Popternative. Make sure to check out our past episodes of Popternative on YouTube. Be sure to like Popternative on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This has been an Autograph Communications production.